And get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fourth edition of No Job, Now What, presented by HSMAI Los Angeles and HFTP Los Angeles chapters. Today's program is skill building workshop on personal branding. Okay. Before we get started, I'd like to do the usual reminders. Please mute your audio if you're not speaking. Make sure you turn off any notifications on your mobile or on your computer so we can get rid of that background noise in respect to our speaker today. Our agenda, we're going to do the skill building workshop survey results. We'll share that first. Then we'll go into the personal branding presentation. It's going to be very interactive with Professor Nez. And then we'll take a couple of questions that were submitted from the survey. And then any other Q&A that comes up, we'll be able to address that at the end or near the end. So without further ado, I'd like to share some of the survey results. And this is the survey that when you first registered, you took. We had quite a few respondents. So the question number one, what is your current employment status? 42% said they're employed full-time, 21% part-time, 11% said furloughed, and 26% permanently laid off, which is actually remarkable. And what I did was we're actually going to compare now the survey results from today's webinar back to the survey results from the September 2nd webinar, and I've got them side by side. So today's webinar, we have 42% employed full-time versus back on September 2nd, only 28% were employed full-time. So that's a remarkable kind of recovery. And then 21% were employed part-time currently, and on September 2nd, 6%. So it looks like some people are kind of moving into taking on part-time or some task force type projects or something like that in the interim. And then 11% said they're furloughed today, 11% were furloughed before, so that hasn't changed. And then finally, which is the kind of most remarkable, is today 26% say they were permanently laid off, and on September 2nd, 47% said they were permanently laid off, which is really a remarkable number. So, and question number two on the survey was, which of the following is most important to you? The number one most important thing the survey respondents said was job satisfaction, number two, salary, number three, job security, and number four, benefits. And finally, question number three on a 1 to 5 scale, with 5, of course, being fully competent, is that what is your competence level in the following areas? In communication, a 4.1. 4.3 on leadership, 4.4 on teamwork, 4.4 on learning adaptability, 4.5 on critical thinking and problem solving, and surprisingly, only a 3.8 on digital literacy, which is going to be really, really important today for today's program. So today's panelists we've got Nick Reed from Travel Staff. We have Imelda Bermudez from Travel Staff. We have Brian Marcus from Global. Eden's not joining us today, and I'm Mitch Woolley, who's your moderator today. And the star of the show, ladies and gentlemen, is Professor Nez. He's a leader in personal branding, mindset transformation, executive career coaching, and online reputation building through 21st century digital storytelling. He's the founder and CEO of Professor Nez Consulting Agency, helping individuals and businesses build and stand out their personal brands so they can earn more, grow faster, and stress less. Professor Nez earned his master's degree from Chapman University and then on to become a business communication professor at both Chapman University and the University of Laverne. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Professor Nez.
Thank you so much for that awesome introduction, Mitch. I really appreciate it. And I'm so honored to be here for you all. I just want you guys to know that you guys have a special place in my heart because hospitality, sales, marketing, that is my roots. A lot of you guys might not know this about me, but I had a catering business about 20 years ago. I was a bartender before that at a luxury hotel. And so I'm very, very, not only empathetic and understanding, but it's something that's near and dear to me. Customer service, the ability to understand how your audience feels, what they need, and how to solve their problems. is really tantamount to your success. How many people in the chat, please let me know, how many people here have any idea of what the world, Nez, what are you talking about when you say personal branding? What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear this thing, personal branding? Because I know a lot of you guys have, and I can screen share now, right, Mitch?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. And I want to thank, by the way, Mitch, Nick, Imelda, and everybody. Brian, thank you so much. All of you guys for putting this on. This is a fantastic event. I've been paying attention to it for quite some time now. I know you guys have gone through a lot of amazing webinars and amazing workshops. So I'm super, super excited to get cooking. But I'd love to know from you guys, and I'm assuming we can't hear them, right, Mitch? They just go through you?
No, they're on mute, and they can unmute themselves if they'd like to chime in.
Yeah, I would love to hear. I'm going to screen share right now, and just hopefully hopefully this will come through. But I want to. What do you guys think a personal brand is? Because I know you guys have gone through. You've got your resume. You've got your LinkedIn profile. You've gone through some amazing workshops. Nez, what in the world are you talking about when it comes to personal branding? What is the first thought that comes into your mind? I'd love to hear from you guys.
I got one here. It says how I'm viewed as a professional. Say
that again.
How I'm viewed as a professional.
Okay, good. Okay, good. That's very good. Anything else? I love that.
What sets me apart?
What sets you apart? Okay. Those are definitely important, and that definitely has a lot to do with your personal brand. But I'm going to even make it even simpler because, and please give me some more if you hear any, Mitch, or have any. And I love this. I want to really get to all your questions more than anything. I'm going to do a presentation and tell you what exactly this is and how feasible and practical and tangible this is for you to advance your career and really get somewhere. Because everything, guys, that a personal brand has to do with is this right here. It has to understand, and you guys are in customer service, you have to take ownership of the narrative that you tell the world. Personal branding is just a phrase. It's just a term. What it really means is modern communications. I want to look at you guys real fast.
I've got 4 responses here.
Talk to me.
My image.
Yes.
The value I can bring.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence.
Ooh, that's even better.
And
that's even better. A lot of people don't have a personal brand that is emotionally intelligent, but that's beautiful. Yes.
And
I want to also share another.
What you're known for. Sorry.
Yes, what you're known for. Exactly. When I say a strategic ownership of the narrative you share the world, Nez, that sounds a little bit vague. What do you mean by that? Everything is happening, guys. What we're doing right now, this is relevant. Webinars. Try to understand where everything is happening right now. Where is hiring happening right now? Where are you shopping right now? Where are you viewing your entertainment, your music right now? How many people in the chat cut the cord to their cable networks? I did. I know I did. I did it about 4 years ago, by the way, and I've never been happier. Do you remember the days where just to get ESPN, you had to buy 6,000 other channels? Those days are gone. You know why Amazon owns the world? You know why Netflix has Hollywood running scared? Because this is where everything is happening. I want to share some stats with you. And please ask any question you want. The last thing I want to do is pontificate. I want to get very granular. I want to get very specific. I want to help as much as possible. Everything is happening in this thing called the digital ecosystem. Other words, AKA online. You have a LinkedIn profile. You have a resume, but that's a two-dimensional context. You, ladies and gentlemen, now what do you do? What do I do, Nez? I've got my resume. I've got my LinkedIn profile. What do I do now? You need to make sure that people know who you are, how you can bring value to them, and how you can solve problems. I want you to write down these 3 things. These are important questions. Everybody, please write these down. Who are you? What is your unique skill or trait that you can exploit to the service of others. I'm living proof, and I follow all of this stuff. My biggest belief is transparency. If your personal brand, which is literally your reputation, your online presence, if your personal brand does not bespeak your integrity and what you truly believe and are passionate about, it's all over. Number one, who are you? It's a very important question. And I'm not trying to get Tolstoy or Dostoevsky or anything woo-woo, very practical. What is your unique trait? What is the characteristic about you that you can exploit for the service of others? That's very, very important. Number two, why should anybody pay attention to you? Why should anybody pay attention? What differentiates you from the pack? You need to ask these very important questions about yourself and really try to work through these. And I'm going to give you something even more granular in a little bit. But why should I pay attention to you? And then number three, this is everything, y'all. This is the epicenter of my success. It's going to be the central crux of your success. What problem can you solve for me? People, I want you guys to write this down. People don't hire your credentials. People don't hire your accolades. They hire your energy. Another stat I want to share, and I'm going to share a few stats here. Another stat and let me know, please let me know if there's any questions. I don't want to just keep talking and then you go, Nez, I have no idea what you're talking about. I want this to be as interactive as possible. But I'm going to screen share real fast. And before I even talk about these stats, I'm going to share with you another stat. Okay, let me know if you can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen right now?
Yes, we can.
I want you to understand this, and this is where you guys will shine in hospitality and customer service. This is where you guys will shine above the rest. 85%, and you can look this up from the Dale Carnegie Institute. Before I even get to these stats, don't. As a matter of fact, let me stop this. I don't want you to read that. I want you to listen to this. 85%, and I know that Nick, Brian, Mitch, Imelda, everybody watching will vouch for this because I'm living proof of this. 85% of your financial success is contingent upon your personality and your ability to communicate. Period. Only 15% is based on your technical skills. Your resume does not three-dimensionalize you. Your LinkedIn profile does not three-dimensionalize you. Go back to these stats. You know what does three-dimensionalize you? You building your personal brand. I'm not talking about Instagram, social media influence, TikTok, even though my wife is crazy about TikTok. She's trying to get me into TikTok, but if I go on TikTok, I'll probably get arrested. How many people are on TikTok? Let me know. How many people have any social presence? Sue, I see your video. Sue, give me a hand up if you have any presence. Brian does. Okay, Brian, are you on TikTok dancing it up? No. Okay, he says no. He says vehemently no. Hey, Sue, give me a hand. And is it Lyron? I want to say that right. Lyron or Lyron? Lyron? Give me it.
Lyron.
It's Laurent.
Laron, sorry, I apologize. Thank you. I want to get your names right. Laron and Sue, because I can see you, and please feel free to add your video. I see Michelle, Jonathan, Brooke, Lori, Jerry, Michelle, Scott S., Sylvia. Please, if you don't mind, I'd love to see you, but you don't have to. I want you to be comfortable. Laron and Sue, give me a hand. What presence do you have on social media? Are you on LinkedIn? Well, obviously you're on LinkedIn, yes. How about Facebook? Give me a hand if you're on Facebook. How about Instagram? Oh, wow. I'm so impressed. Twitter? Twitter? Okay, very good. Some of you not. Snapchat? No way, right? Not even close. Look at that, Brian. Oh, Brian, I'm following you on Snapchat. I'm coming to get you, Brian. I love it. How many people are on TikTok? Here's the $1 million question. Oh, very good. Look at Laron. Laron's doing TikTok. I'd love to talk about that. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, let me get back to this. Look at this. This really communicates the significance and relevance. 65% of people, why should I build a personal brand, Nez? 65% of people feel an online search is the most trusted source about people and companies. Do you guys remember the days when you would put your credit card buying something online and how panicky you were? Let me know in the chat, how many people panicked 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, putting your credit card, look at Imelda, yes, my wife has zero problems. And boy, when I get that credit card bill, holy macadamia nut. I wish she had more reservations. How many people remember the days where you used to panic putting your credit card number to buy something? Amazon wasn't even that popular 10 years ago, especially not where it is now. But anything online, you used to panic. I used to panic. Give me some hands. How many people remember those days? Well, guess what, y'all? Those days are over. Online is king. You can be romantic about the past. I know Nick, Mitch, and I, we're old dudes. We come from the past. We remember, look at Nick. Nick's like, speak for yourself. Well, we're all 8 years old at heart, really. At least my wife tells me that. We remember the days before the iPhone. We remember the days before the internet. The reason why Amazon owns the world, the reason why Netflix and Prime have everybody in Hollywood running for the hills is because everything is happening online. Think about where you're doing your banking. Think about where you're doing your shopping. Hiring, recruiting. Hello, Brian, how much recruiting do you do on LinkedIn? Nothing? He does it. Okay, he does it. Brian's like, leave me alone, Nez. Everything is happening online. Finance. Trading stocks, buying homes. I had a client the other day, he bought a 1.6 million home without ever looking at it. Virtual tour. Holy macadamia nut, y'all. This is where everything is happening. Okay, let me get back to this really quickly. I want to take questions. I want to answer questions. If you have any questions, let me know. 90% of customers, whoops, I didn't want you to see that. 90% of customers say positive online reviews influence their purchasing. 90% of customers say positive online reviews influence in their purchasing behavior. 93% of employers said they will, this is the big one right here. I want you to pay attention to this one right here. This really relates to us. 93% of employers said they will search your social media profiles during the interview process. And look at Brian. Brian's shaking his head yes. You better believe it. So personal branding. What is a personal brand? I think the best thing yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. That's generally the first thing we do as recruiters. We go on LinkedIn, for example, to find the human side of people, their picture.
I love that.
Not on the resume. Mm-hmm.
And you just said it best. You know what you just said right there? That was Imelda, correct?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you for saying that. Guys, this is what I mean by three-dimensionalizing yourselves. You guys are in the service and hospitality industry. You guys are kings at this. You know, I know. Okay, here, let me tell you a quick story. I travel 45 minutes out of my way to eat at a restaurant where the food is bubkus. It's terrible, awful food. But you know what? The service is immaculate. Why do I drive? My wife thinks I'm crazy. I'm old school. I like being treated. I like people knowing my name. I like people understanding what I want before I sit down. I want to be Norm from Cheers. I love that. I love that feeling of service. Sue, look at Sue. Sue, give me a thumbs up. How many people believe in this? Give me a thumbs up. Yes.
Norm.
Yes, Norm. Service. Now, your resume is very one-dimensional. Your LinkedIn profile, I'm going to say two-dimensional. Your personal brand, humanizing yourself. What Imelda said so beautifully, humanizing yourself. You don't have to go crazy on Instagram. You don't have to do stories. You don't have to go on Facebook and post all this stuff. I'm going to talk specifically about the number one platform where you guys are going to make money is LinkedIn. That's where you should be building your personal brand. Ever since Microsoft bought LinkedIn in 2016 for just a cool $26 billion, that platform has volcanically become explosive, huge, everything. It's where I eat, sleep, and breathe, where my business eats, sleeps, and breathes, where my clients, where I accrue, where I get leads, where people understand what I can do for them. ABS, always be serving. Show rather than tell. Your resume tells me, your LinkedIn profile tells me, now I want you to show me. So Nez, what are you talking about? Get to the point. I would advocate, and I'm going to give you a 3-principle, beautiful formula. I want everybody in this room, this is how you're going to 3-dimensionalize yourself. I want everybody in this room to create, and I've got a ton of videos and trainings on my website. If you go to professornez.com/videos, you'll see all this amazing stuff. I don't know if Mitch already shared that, but I hope he will, so you guys can really get into the weeds. I want every single individual listening and watching right now to think about creating a 1 to 3 minute video, maybe a couple of them per week or a couple per month, advocating, providing value, showcasing, more importantly, demonstrating why I should pay attention to you. What value can you bring? What problem can you solve? How many people have heard of a resume website? Raise your hand. How many people have heard of a resume website? Okay, fantastic. Mark, how are you? Michelle, how are you? Great to see you. Laurent is in the house. Sue, fantastic. Okay, so your LinkedIn profile is your personal website. Your LinkedIn profile is your virtual business card. Your LinkedIn profile, you don't need a website anymore. Because now, and I know maybe Brian remembers this, I don't know how many people remember this, it used to be a time where LinkedIn was just a place you slapped your resume, hasta la pasta, see you later, right? It's not like that anymore. It's not like that. Now it's literally has the functionality of a website. You can post articles. You can post in your news feed of helpful tips, strategies, best practices, where you reside, what you're all about, how you view the industry. There's communication, networking, relationship building. More importantly, it's become a content platform. Your personal brand needs to be fueled. The engine to your personal brand is content. And I'm not even going to say go on Instagram, go on YouTube. I'm not saying, even though I'm everywhere, because I do believe in having an omni-channel presence, but I'm going to focus very granularly and specifically on LinkedIn because that's where we eat, sleep, and breathe. A 1 to 3 minute video where I can get a taste of your personality. Remember what I said, 85% of your success based on your personality. And guess what? LinkedIn is the only platform left on the planet that the algorithm supports in great, great numbers and volume. And I don't want to get too technical, but every platform is governed by an algorithm. YouTube algorithm, Google algorithm, Facebook algorithm, all of them are governed by algorithms, and most of them are pay to play now. LinkedIn is the only last vestige of what I like to call natural organic reach. You can reach thousands of recruiters like Brian. You can reach thousands of employers. You can reach millions if you do it right, okay? That's how, guess what? That's how Gerald found me. You know why I'm here, guys? I'm living proof this works. You guys know why I'm here talking to you right now? Because I put myself out there. Because I 3-dimensionalized myself. I made people understand that I can bring them value. I demonstrated. That's key. It's the first window, the first glimpse into who you are. I want to get a taste of your personality. I want to get a taste of how you communicate. I want to get a feeling for your energy. People don't buy your credentials. They don't hire your credentials. They hire your energy. How many people, Nick, Mitch, everybody, how many people hiring when you hire somebody? How important is it to get to know, like Imelda said, how important is it to know their energy, their personality, their enthusiasm, their conviction in themselves? I know for one thing, if somebody, how many people have experienced this? Here's an example. How many people have gone to Starbucks and gotten this? Can I take your order? Not a hello. Yes, Imelda. Not a hello. Not a how are you today, sir? Not a, hey, what's up, man? Even a, hey, what's up, man? This blows my mind. What can I do for you? What do you want? How can I take your order? How many people have gotten service like that? Forget Starbucks, anywhere. It absolutely makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. I am patronizing your business. I'm giving you my hard-earned money. At least make me feel like you want it, right? This is about, I need to feel it. Don't just go through the motions and have this quantitative resume and have these bullet points and you've got this nice design. I still don't, I mean, everybody has that. Who are you? I need to know who you are. if you understand the end psychology of where people are doing their hiring and recruiting and what they're doing and how they're searching for you, this becomes imperative to your success. 1 to 3 minute videos. And guess what? You don't need a fancy microphone. This is a $6,000 microphone. You don't need lights. You don't need fancy cameras. Guess what, y'all? This is all you need. All you need is what you have in your back pocket. Sue, do you have one of these? Sue, do you have one of these? Hold it up. Hold up your phones. Everybody hold up your phones, please. Mitch, let me see that 1955 phone. Oh, he's got a good one. Look at Imelda. Imelda's got my phone. I love it. Fantastic. Mitch, I thought you were going to hold up one of those 1980s swivel chair phones.
Oh, you mean the pretty woman brick?
The pretty woman, exactly.
With the whip
Exactly.
antenna on it? Yeah.
All you guys need is in your back pocket. That's all you need. You don't need fancy lights. You don't need fancy microphones. You don't need fancy anything. All you need is what you have in your back pocket that you carry around with you everywhere. And here is the 3-step formula. I want to tell you exactly how to create your first video that is going to create impact in the ecosystem. I'm going to give you the 3-step formula, and I'm going to screen share my website because I want you to know I practice what I preach, and this is what works for me. I have 2 multi-6-figure businesses. It's all contingent upon my ability to put myself out there. It's all contingent on people understanding that, wait a minute, this Nez guy, I love his energy. You don't, and by the way, you don't have to be me. You don't have to be like Mitch or like Nick. Nick has an amazing personality. Imelda, Brian, these people. You just have to be you. My wife is the exact opposite of me. She's very introverted, very quiet, but when she speaks, she owns the room. You have to own your energy. You don't, me, I'm like a volcano. I'm like a train in your chest. I don't need coffee. I don't need drugs. This is all natural. I know it sounds crazy. Everybody always says, Nez, what are you on? I'm on life because I love doing what I do. And when you love doing what you do and you believe in yourself and you value yourself, you have no problem putting yourself out there. Does this make sense, everybody? Give me some hands up. Give me some thumbs up if that makes sense at all. Does that make sense? 1 to 3 minute videos, 3-dimensionalizing yourself, okay? And here's the formula. Nez, you told us to create videos. Well, what does that mean? Let me give you the formula. Very granular, very specific. I want you guys to write these 3 things down and number them 1, 2, 3 vertically on top of one another. Number 1, I want you to put next to that problem. Number 2, next to that, put solution. Number 3, next to that, put results. And I'll explain each one. And I'm going to show you an example. Number 1, problem. Number 2, solution. Number 3, results. And by the way, if anybody, smart hospitality, sales, marketing professionals, if anybody is thinking about starting an online business or freelancing, which you can make 6 figures, monetizing what's in your noggin, I'm living proof of this. I know Brian will back me up on that. I know Nick will back me up on that. Mitch, Imelda will back me up on that. You can monetize what's in your dome and make serious money online with your own consulting business, your own freelance gig. You can do this. You guys have the skills. You need to value yourself. Do we all have it written down? Give me a thumbs up if we all have it written down. Problem, solution, results. Thank you, Michelle. Fantastic. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that. Any questions, bring them on in. Thank you, Maria. Maria, I see the thumbs up. How did you do that? I don't even think I can do that on Zoom. Very cool. I like the emoji. Thumbs up. Okay, here's what you're going to do. So number 1, problem. Next to that, put a little dash, and here's what you're going to say. What is the problem that your ideal target audience or employer or organization faces? We need a sales director. We need a vice president of marketing. We need a social media manager. We need a customer success manager. What is the problem? What is the problem that your target audience faces? That's number 1. And I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by this. But just write that down for now, and then I'll explain it in more living color. You have to always, and let me please caveat this by saying this. Always make it about them, y'all. In the interview, in your resume, in your content, in your LinkedIn, you have to always make it about them. Serve their needs. Hey, do me a favor, Brian. Can you take yourself off mute? I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, you're a recruiter right? You're looking to hire somebody, or you're looking to present somebody to an employer. Does this ring true for you? You have a headache. The only reason that you need to fill this position is you have a headache. The people who you're looking after need to be the Tylenol. Am I incorrect?
Correct.
Yes. Thank you. Because most people think that they care about, oh, I like long walks on the beach. I volunteer. I have all these associations. I don't care. I'm just being blunt. I'm being very transparent. I don't care. I'll figure that out in the interview. What I want to know is, I have a headache. Are you Excedrin? You need to solve my problem. Does that make sense, you guys? Give me a thumbs up. I want to see that emoji again, Maria. That was awesome. Number one problem. What is the major headache that your ideal audience has? Number two, solution. What is it that you can provide that will help them solve that problem? Number two, solution. Write a dash. What is it that you can provide? What asset, what characteristic, what trait do you provide that will help them solve that problem? You see how I start with them first. And then number three, results. This is huge. What is the end result of you solving their problem? What are they going to get out of it? What are they going to feel? What's the transformation? Think about this on a big scale. What is the results of you solving their problem? Okay, you ready for an example? I want to give you an example. I'm not just going to talk fancy terms. I'm going to give you actual results. And I'm going to my website, which I'm going to refresh so you know I didn't just write this. This has been up there since day one. Okay. Let me know if you can see my website. This is my website, professornez.com. Can you guys see this? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Nick. I'm going to refresh so you know I didn't just write this in there. Okay. And we're actually looking at this in real time. I want you to look at this value proposition right here. Remember how I said problem, solution, results? So check this out. This is how simple it needs to be. This is, you can follow this formula for your 1 to 3 minute videos on LinkedIn. Check this out. Number one problem. Are you struggling to grow your online business or advance your career? What's their pain point? What's their challenge? What's their obstacle? I don't start with me. I start with them. It's all about them. You want to make money? You want to be successful? You already know this. ABS, always be serving, right? Number two, the solution. It starts with a clearly defined brand message. That's the solution to your problem. If you want to advance your career, if you want to grow your online business, you need to have a clearly defined message. You need to communicate that. I need to know who you are. And then number three, the results of that transformation is they're going to earn more money. Hell yeah. They're going to grow faster. Absolutely. And they're going to stress a lot less. That's the results. That's it right there, guys. That's the formula. Problem, solution, results. And guess what? That is the same exact formula I use for all my content. I use for all my client meetings, all my copywriting, all my website landing pages, everything. It starts with them. See, most people, when they go into the interview, I know Brian will back me up on this. Most people, when they go into the interview, this is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. This is what I want. I want this kind of salary. I want these kind of benefits. It's I. The antithesis is what you should be doing. What can I do for you? How can I solve your problem? Why am I an asset to you? How can I help you relieve yourself of that headache? How can I solve your problem? Period. That's it. So I want to show you a couple more slides and then I want to take questions. This really has to do with adaptation, okay? So a couple more slides. Let me just show you this really fast. And this will be fun too. How many people know who Charles Darwin is? Raise your hand. How many people know who Charles Darwin is? Yes, he is the father of evolution. Okay, most people have the wrong idea when it comes to the origin of species and his famous book that he wrote, which was really the cataclysm for the catalyst, I'm sorry, for evolution. So most people think it's survival of the fittest. Incorrect. Survival of the fittest is only mentioned 3 times in the origin of species. You know what's mentioned 88 times? Can anybody guess? Adaptation. It's not the strongest that survives, says Darwin, but the species that survives is the one that is able to adapt and adjust best to the changing environment. Guys, I want to look at you real fast. What does that mean? It's the same reason why I said Amazon owns the world. It's the same reason why I said that Netflix has everyone in Hollywood running scared. You need to adapt. I am not doing this for kicks and giggles. I'm doing this because I know it works, because it's practical, because it's real. This is where everybody's paying attention. How many people go to the grocery store or go to the bank or drive to a Starbucks? When you look around and see what everybody is doing, what are they doing? Can anybody tell me? Laurent, do that again. Yes, they're on their phones. This thing is your moneymaker, y'all. We're in the attention business. We are in the attention business. You need to understand where the attention is. Adaptation. Does that make sense? One more slide, and then I want to take questions. I'm here as long as you need me. My next client meeting is not till 12:30. Next slide. How many people know who this is?
Elvis.
You better know who this is, and don't tell me. This is the greatest entertainer that ever lived, and nobody argue with me on that. Treat me like a fool. Don't make me sing. I will sing. This is the greatest entertainer that ever lived. In 1958, this is Elvis Presley, in case you didn't know that, for you young folk. In 1958, Elvis Presley got drafted into the Army. He was at the peak of his career. I'm sorry, this was in 1956. And then in 1958, when he came back, one of the journalists asked him, they say, "Hey, Elvis, a lot has changed. Music has changed since you've been in the Army. What are you going to do about it?" This was his response. "Well, if it has changed, I'd be foolish not to change with it." This is incredible, you guys. This is everything, you guys. Adaptation. Don't be romantic about the past. Believe me, I wish things could be a lot simpler. I work pretty much 24/8 because now my clients, my customers, they can get a hold of me all the time. My wife yells at me all the time, "Nez, you got to get off the phone." And she's right. And she's right. I have zero work-life balance, but I love what I do, and I'm okay with that. And I still am working on it. I'm humble enough to say that I'm still working on it. But for you guys who want to make a splash, for you guys who want to differentiate yourself, yes, you have your LinkedIn. Yes, you have your resume. I think building a personal brand is going to take you to the next level. More than that, it communicates and sustains your relevancy. Let's say you have a job. Some of you guys said in that survey you already landed a job. Bravo. Congratulations. You know how you maintain it? You know how you keep it? By communicating your relevancy. And that's what a personal brand can be. And really, that's the crux of it all. Problem, solution, results. I would say 1 to 3 minute videos, no fanciness. Use your phone. Post it weekly, if not monthly. Get yourself out there. Talk about why you're an asset. And I promise you, I'm living proof this works. You will succeed. I promise you that. Okay, thank you so much. Good night. I don't want to. I could go on and on, but I want to take questions. Mitch, what do you got?
I actually have something to share. You mind if I share my screen?
Of course. Are you kidding me?
So I was looking at my LinkedIn feed this morning.
Yes.
And this kind of popped up on it, and I think it's very, very relevant to what we're talking about like a quick video about kind of what you're doing.
Yes.
And this young lady named Katie Davis had a very, very unique way of actually kind of selling herself. So she is obviously open to work, and she's marketing communications specialist, and she's looking for work. So check out her video that she put on her post.
I can't see your screen. Did you share your screen? Can anybody see his screen?
Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. We're looking at you, Mitch.
Oh, my bad. Okay. So give me a second. Okay. Now you can see.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Okay. So this is Katie's, and I'm going to escape for a second here. So I thought that was pretty crazy because she's getting quite a bit of shares right now on this.
Over 3,000 views. And that's all organic. That's all organic.
It's all organic. These are not boosted. So
and let me please explain that, because I don't want people to. What do you mean, Nez, by organic? Let me tell you something, guys. As a marketer, as the chief marketing officer of my business, you have to understand that most platforms are pay to play. Now, what does that mean? Your posts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, they're gone. They don't get a lot of reach anymore. If you remember back in 2011 and 12, all your Facebook posts got a ton of reach, and everybody in your network would see it. Well, nowadays that's over with, right? LinkedIn, what I mean by organic reach is you can literally look how many people she's reached. You can literally post a video on LinkedIn, and that was a little bit too pre-produced. I have some healthy, constructive criticism of that video. I don't think anybody needs to go that route, but it's great that she's showing initiative. It's awesome. I didn't really get a taste of her personality, which I would like to see. But that was very pre-produced and very had production value with the cards and the the different images and the editing. But you guys don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Literally a 1 to 3 minute video, just saying and here's another thing too. I want you to know, you don't have to fake it till you make it. Please heed this. Faking it till you make it is the worst advice you're ever going to get. I hope nobody has told you to fake it till you make it. The only thing you have to do when you're creating these videos, people say to me all the time, they say, Nez, how do you, you just seem so, natural. I know you've done it for a long time, but when I see you on video, when I see you on your live stream podcast, it just seems like it's so fluid. And the reason is I'm nothing special. There's nothing special about me. I'm just being 100% capital R real. That's it. Your authenticity is going to win the day. You have everything you need inside your chest. You don't need anything else. So I would love to take, if does anybody have any questions, I would love to take any questions if anybody has any.
There's actually quite a few questions. So
okay.
And you can, you can.
Never mind. I changed my mind. I don't want to answer any questions.
No, the panelists, and thank you, and no more questions, please.
No more questions. Yeah, autographs. Only autographs. No, I'm kidding.
So tips on selling your transferable skills to hiring managers when changing industries.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. So the best way to communicate your transferable skills is, first of all, do your utmost to research that position, that company, know everything about what they want, make it all about them. Don't make it about you, and don't just communicate what you've done in the past. Communicate what you've done in the past and how that will complement what they need. That's how you do it. So don't just say that I'm terrific at marketing. Don't just say that. Or I'm a leader in customer service. That doesn't tell me anything. How are you going to help me? For example, you could say something like, I've been in the customer success and customer service industry for 5+, 8+ years. I feel what I can bring to the table is I can help you, your organization, your department really revitalize and reform your customer service implementation, whereby, you'll be able to reach the right people, create loyalty, create engagement, which over the long term will produce amazing results. Right? So identify how your transferable skills will complement the role, complement the division, the department, and make that company succeed. That's the key to transitioning into a new industry. And if you're in everybody here that's listening and watching, you all have transferable skills. You guys can do anything. If you can make people feel welcome, if you can make people feel like they matter, if you can make people feel like you've put them above yourself, I guarantee you can do pretty much anything in the roles of, like I said, customer success, even project management. You can do sales, anything in marketing, social media management, content creation, content strategy. You have those skills. And so make sure customer service representative, customer service director, all of those positions you guys could jump into. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Great question. I love that. Make it about them. Always make it about them.
If I could step in just there.
Please.
We're finding a lot of hotel sales and marketing people transferring across to senior living because the hotels are shut. Senior living is growing, and there's almost no need for them to talk about their transferable skills because the people that are already in the positions at senior living came from hospitality.
Awesome.
And so sometimes you need to talk to people who speak your language.
Yeah.
But the most important thing right now, and it's not as simple as just transferable skills, if I could give some real advice, is to use your network. At the end of the day, it's the people who know you who are going to know your transferable skills. Currently, the average job application is receiving 10 times what they used to. People are just sifting through resumes. You don't stand out. The only way to stand out is when somebody knows you. You need an advocate.
How many people have heard of the donut resume? Has anybody heard of the donut resume, the famous story? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story. This individual, and you can look this up online, this individual was trying to apply for a position, and Nick is 1,000,000,000% correct. There is more saturation, but saturation should not dissuade you. There is more saturation, but it should not dissuade you. This individual could not get in anywhere near an interview for this position that he was dying for. He couldn't get past the ATS. He couldn't get past the scanners. He couldn't get past the HR. And so what he did was he bought a 12 dozen designer donuts, very fancy schmancy donuts from this really luxurious, donut shop where he lived. I think it was in New York City. And he had it delivered to the individual who was basically going to be doing the hiring. And in the flap of the box of the donuts, he taped his resume to the flap, the open flap of the resume of the donuts. And he left a little note. I hope you enjoy these designer donuts. And if you need some reading while you're enjoying them, I've attached my resume. Thank you so much. Now, am I saying that you have to do that? Of course not. But here's the key. Network is one thing, of course. Personal branding, very, very important. I still stand by that more than anything. But you need to be innovative and you need to go after it. This spray and pray mentality is not going to work. And I know Brian will back me up on this. Just sending your resume out there and hoping that they say, yeah, you're amazing. You're brilliant. You're fantastic. We love you. We're going to pay you lots of money. It's not going to happen. You need to come up with innovative, creative ways to make yourself stand out. That's an example, just a metaphor. But use your creativity. Don't be afraid to be bold, take risks, especially if you really want it, especially if you have a family like I do and a wife and a mortgage and kids. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have that, but that puts a whole new kind of prescience to what you need to do and being able to, especially during now with the pandemic, in which I want to say this too, it will get better, I promise you. Do not let the pandemic dissuade you. Do not let saturation dissuade you, but be innovative, be creative, and remember this too. The fortune is in the follow-up. Everybody should write that down. The fortune is in the follow-up. One more. Do I have time, Mitch, for just a quick 2-second story? Do I have time? Okay, thank you. Sorry, you're on mute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mitch. So I want to tell you guys a very story that exemplifies what I'm talking about, what I mean by the donut story. In my early 20s, when I was first starting my roles and trying to apply for positions for being a professor, we were going through a major financial collapse. Not the 2007 one. Some of you don't remember the 2001 one, right? 2002 or what have you. Everybody couldn't get a job except for me. And I'll tell you how I did it. This is why I do what I do. Nobody, I mean, all my colleagues, none of them could get a gig. None of them could get even an interview with the dean or the chair. This is what I did. Instead of just hoping and praying that somebody calls me, this is what I did. And again, I'm not saying you have to do this. Use your own creativity. But this is what I did. I would actually show up to the chair's office, the dean's office. I would even leave voicemails and do cold calling. Cold calling is still very powerful, y'all. Cold calling is very powerful. I would show up and wait outside his office, sometimes an hour, 5 hours, 6 hours, and just sit there dressed up as best as I could And as soon as he went to go get coffee, as soon as he went to go get, go to the bathroom or something, I would pop up and he'd be like, who in the world are you? Hi, I'm Professor Nez. I applied for the position of rhetoric and composition instructor. And I just wanted, if I could just please get 5 seconds of your time, I will communicate to you why I think I'm the best for this gig. And 9 out of 10 times when I did that, the dean or chair would say, I never even got your resume. I don't even know who you are, but come on in, let's have a chat.
Wow.
I got most of my gigs doing that. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this, but again, you have to go after it. Do not spray and pray. Don't just sit back. Oh, well, I got an automated response that says, sorry, we've gone with somebody else. I hate those. I'm with you. I hate those. I hate getting those automated responses. That's not a no. Don't look at that as just a no, especially if you really want the gig. Go after it. Hey, excuse me. Yeah, hi. I'm just trying to get a hold of, I think his name is Don. He's in charge of hiring for this specific role. Is there any way I could just get to his voicemail, or do you have his email? Reach out to them. Say, hey, man, I applied. Don't say, hey, man. But you know what I mean. Be professional, obviously. Say, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, my name is Laurent and I applied for this position. I would just love if I could get some feedback, something concrete. I was passed up and I received a message saying that you went with somebody else. If there's any feedback at all you could give me, I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to jump on a quick phone call if that's possible. I'm happy to chat with you. Please let me know. Thank you so much. I mean, it's simple, but it works. It pays massive dividends. I'm living proof that this works.
Interesting. We have one question, time for one question, and then we'll have to kind of wrap this up for today. Best way to show your skills in a resume so that they are ATS friendly? Yeah,
so ATS is the applicant tracking system, and this is a system that scans for specific keywords, right? So the best way that you can do this is you can go through job posts. And how I do it for my clients, I have an ATS software that I use within my company, and it's essentially a keyword tool. Plus, I have a master's certificate in SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, and Google Analytics, which if you understand the Google algorithm, there isn't an algorithm out there that you won't understand. And so, because Google is everything, right? It's the king of search. And so basically, it's a search engine. And what it's doing is it's trying to find out how much you match keyword-wise to the position that they're looking for, the skills that they're looking for. Now, here's something that you can really do that's powerful. And let me screen share. Do you mind if I screen share and show this, Mitch?
Go ahead.
Because I want this to be as tangible as possible. I don't want this to just be fluff. I want this to be tangible. But I'm going to type in, I'm going to screen share in just a second. I'm going to type in sales director on LinkedIn jobs, right? Watch this, guys. So I'm going to screen share. And let me know if you can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, here's another thing you can do with LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is every job that you see here, right? I'm going to click on all these different jobs, and I love Easy Apply. If you don't know what Easy Apply is, Easy Apply means you can apply directly to the position with your LinkedIn profile. It's phenomenal. This is why optimizing your LinkedIn profile is essential. If you go through the job, you're going to see, if you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see where it says, these are the skills that we're looking for. Do you guys see this right here? I'm going to highlight this. Can you guys see these skills here? These are the top skills that they're looking for this specific position, which is Senior Sales Director at Johnson Outdoors. Let me know if you guys can't see that. Can everybody see that? Give me a thumbs up. Can you see that? You can go through, let's say you're going for sales director. Let's just say you're going for sales director jobs. Go through each one of these. Some of them even have them laid out right here, which is great. Go through each one of these skills and plug those into your LinkedIn profile and your resume, because those are the top skills. Those are basically saying those are the keywords that essentially are primary to what they're looking for. Another way of doing it is to go through the actual job post and find common denominators. What keeps coming up all the time? What keeps coming up ubiquitously? I keep saying verbal communication skills, management skills, strategies, okay? Look at what keeps coming up a lot, workflow, efficiency, expectations, sales, look at what's coming up more often than not, And that's how you can make your resume ATS friendly. It's literally just a keyword match tool. And so if you can identify and really make sure that you do your research, you'll be able to create that. And if you're wondering where do I put that, it's best to have those keywords in a specific column or category or section on your resume. And I would say this too. We've done some recent analysis that versus a PDF format resume, we found that resumes in text format, aka Word doc format, have a higher percentage of keyword matching ability than a PDF. Now, PDF keeps your formatting intact, which is huge. So if you send your resume, especially if you have a customized resume in Word doc, and it's not, they don't have the latest version of Word doc, let's say, for example, your resume is going to come out very wonky. We don't want that. So make sure that you do send PDF, but also don't be afraid to attach your Word doc just in case. Give them options. Give them as many options to get a hold of you as possible. It's not going to hurt. That's how you do that.
And if I could add to that, any of you out there who are just sending your stock standard resume for a job, you're not going to get the job. And if you do, you don't deserve it. You need to adapt your resume to the job you're applying to. Otherwise, they can tell, well, this thing hasn't been updated. So do write a love letter. Your resume should be a love letter to that job.
and one thing I would say too, I know we got to go, Mitch, and I apologize. One thing I would say too is, it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing with what I was saying earlier about your videos, is making all about them, target specific. Right? You got to target the right audience, make it specific to them, show them, demonstrate to them that you can be the best option, and by the way, if you have a 5-page resume, forget about it. Ask Brian. Nobody reads resumes anymore. They scan them. I hire all the time. You know how long I look at a resume? 2.5 seconds, if that. If that. If your resume is 50 paragraphs and 7 pages long, bye-bye, hasta la pasta. So make your resume concise as possible. Tailor it specifically to how you can value positions.
Cool. All right, guys, that's all the time.
Thank you, Michelle.
That's all the time we have for today. I'd like to take an opportunity to thank our speaker, Professor Nez, today. Thank you for leaving us with all of your wisdom and sharing your experience with us. Very, very helpful. We'd also like to thank our webinar panelists today, Nick Reed, Melda Bermudez, Brian Marcus, and myself as the moderator. And next week will be part 5, which will be the last in our series of No Job Now What. The program next week is entitled Leaving the Hospitality Industry. It'll be presented by Michelle Carlin. And she has some really, really, really good content planned for the event. A lot of people have already registered for it. The link's been up for a couple of weeks now. So we all look forward to seeing you next week.